What's going on, guys? Matty Russell here and welcome to my backyard. Today we're going to be looking at number 2 of the 5 essentials you need to know in order to successfully breed quail at home. In today's video we're going to be looking at how to build one of these automatic quail food dispensers so that you don't have to worry about trying to fill up quail food every single day. You can even go away for the weekend and the quail are going to be able to get food themselves. So let's get stuck into the video. Alright, so in this video I'm going to show you how to replicate the automatic quail food dispenser. And it basically breaks down into 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. The tools that you're going to need in this video in order to do this project is a tape measure, 2-inch or 50mm hole saw, a Sharpie. It's got to be a black Sharpie. It can't be one of those silly colored ones. If you want to build a successful quail breeding operation, there's 2 things you need to do. You need to use a black Sharpie and hit that like button. You're going to need a ruler, 3 screws, a drill, a hacksaw, or if you want to be a little faster and proficient, an angle grinder, but make sure you wear your safety gear. We don't want any loose fingers flying off in the process. And a screwdriver or an impact driver. The material you're going to need to use in order to build it is a 90mm stormwater drainage pipe. You're also going to need a 90mm end cap and a 90mm elbow. Alright, so the first section we're going to work on is this middle section here with the cutout holes. These are the holes that the quail actually put their head in order to feed from the automatic dispenser. Now, in order to make this specific piece here, we're going to need to cut a piece of the 90mm pipe to about 19 centimeters, or for those of you in the States, 7.5 inches. From there we're going to measure the inside dimensions of where the holes are actually going to be placed. So we're going to put the first one in at 2.5 centimeters. And 50mm or 2 inches apart. With the 1 centimeter gap in between. Actually, let's make it a 2 centimeter gap. 50mm apart and 2.5 centimeters from the edge. Inches, centimeters, millimeters, you'll figure it out. Now with these measurements here, that's going to give us enough room for the 90mm pipe to go inside the elbow fitting and for the end cap to go on the end with our 2 feeder holes in the middle. Now the next thing we're going to do is drill out using our 50mm hole saw the 2 feeder holes. Before I go ahead with that, I like to drill a pilot hole in each section to help guide the drill bit. Alright, once we've got the holes cut, you can see here that there's quite a bit of swarf or rough bits of plastic around the edges. We want to remove those. Number 1, we don't want any of that going into the quail food. Number 2, we want to remove any of the sharp edges so that the quail don't injure their heads or their necks while they're trying to get a good feed. What I like to do is grab a little bit of sandpaper and just sand off those rough edges. Good little trick is to roll it up into a cylinder like so, stick it in the hole, give it a good old twirl around. Right, now once we've done that, we're going to attach the end cap like so. I'm going to drill a pilot hole through and use a little screw like this one to secure the end cap to the 90mm pipe. Right, once we've got that attached, we're going to go ahead and you can either take your hacksaw or I'm going to use the angle grinder and I'm going to cut off this section right here. Now, if you're going to use an angle grinder at home, don't be an idiot like me. Put the guard on it and make sure you don't lose any limbs in the process. Right, so now that we've got that cut, we're going to take our 90-degree elbow and attach it to the end. Now that we've attached that, we're going to go ahead, drill another pilot hole and secure it again with another screw. Now, it's important when we secure the 90-degree elbow to determine what position we want the feeder holes to be in. We don't want them to be directly on the side because that's going to allow a lot of spillage when the quail eat. We also don't want them directly down because that's going to limit the capacity of the quail to put their head in there and eat. So we want it about halfway between the two on a slight angle, not directly to the side, not directly on top, but right about there, if you know what I mean. Now the next thing we want to do is cut our vertical section of the pipe that will be full of the food on the outside of the cage. This really does come down to preference. The longer the pipe, the more food it's going to hold, the less often you have to feed the quail. But for this video, I've decided to cut mine at 35 centimeters or just shy of 14 inches. Once we've cut it, we're going to attach it to the other end of the 90-degree elbow, drill a pilot hole, and whack in a screw. And there you have it, guys. That's how you make an automatic food dispenser for a quail cage. Now, let's get it installed into the cage. And there you have it, guys. That's how you build an automatic food dispenser for your quail cage. Next week's video, we've got essential number 3 coming up on automated watering system. Why don't you like the video if you have got a lot out of it so far? Subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification so you can be reminded when the next video goes live, and we will catch you then.